Welcome to Light Her Up, your go-to podcast for exploring what it means to align with your passions and create a life filled with freedom, ease, and fulfillment. I'm your host, Natalie Bernacchi, a mom, entrepreneur, and certified coach who left a 15-year corporate career to build a life aligned with my passions and help other women do the same. We'll be diving deep into topics like self-discovery, mindset shifts, and the courage to pursue the life you've always dreamed of. Thank you for being here and for prioritizing yourself. I'm honored to be a part of your journey. If you're ready to find your joy, reclaim your identity, and upgrade your life, you're in the right place. Now let's light it up. Hello, my loves, and welcome to another episode of Light Her Up. On this episode, we're going to talk about one of the most important shifts that you can make in your life and in your business. Learning how to trust yourself. So many women struggle with self-doubt. We second guess our decisions, we look for external validation, and we hesitate to take action because we fully don't trust that we know what's best for us. But the reality is, self-trust is the foundation for everything you want. If you don't trust yourself, you'll keep looking outside for the answers. If you don't trust yourself, you'll struggle to make aligned decisions. And if you don't trust yourself, you'll stay stuck, afraid to move forward, afraid to take the leap. So in today's episode, we're going to be talking about why trusting yourself is the key to unlocking confidence, alignment, and success, the hidden ways self-doubt shows up in your day-to-day life, how to start rebuilding self-trust even if you spent years ignoring your inner voice, and simple, practical ways to strengthen your intuition and decision-making. If you've ever found yourself constantly asking, what should I do? What if I make the wrong choice? This episode is for you. Now, before we dive into today's episode, I have something so special for you. If you've been dreaming of starting or growing your own business, but feel like fear is holding you back, you're not alone. Most women don't stay stuck because they lack a great idea. They stay stuck because they overthink, doubt themselves, and believe it's safer to wait. But staying stuck is the riskiest thing that you can do. That's why I created the Confident Mamapreneur, the step-by-step guide to break free from everything holding you back from starting the business of your dreams. This guide will help you rewire fear-based thoughts, break through limiting beliefs, and start showing up as the CEO of your own life. By the end, you'll have the confidence to take your first bold step towards the business of your dreams. So download your free copy. The link is waiting for you in the show notes. And now let's get into the episode. So why is trusting yourself the key to confidence and success? Well, when I started my own self-development journey, I had a major self-trust issue. For so long, I relied on outside voices to tell me what to do. Bosses, coaches, my husband, friends, even strangers on the internet. I was so used to making decisions on what I thought I should do. I completely lost sight of what I actually wanted. I realized that over time, I had essentially been trained to just follow what people told me to do, especially when it came to working. I had spent about a decade at a company, and this was a habit that was truly so hard to break. And in fact, I actually had to leave that company for it to completely stop. It was like a routine or a habit that I had, where anytime I had a decision where I needed to make in my role, I'd go and I asked my boss what he thought. It's because when I started there, I would start to do things on my own. I'm an Aries, and so I'm a natural leader, and I like to carve out my own path. But when I did start to do my own thing, and I didn't ask, I would get in trouble. It honestly felt like I was getting a scolding from my dad. No, you can't do that. Or why did you do that without asking me first? And looking back, it was a real control issue that had nothing to do with me. But at the time, I was like, okay, well, I guess I better get back in my little box and ask him everything I want to do. Then, when I started on my personal development journey, growing professionally and growing personally, I had realizations that I was fully capable of being autonomous, making decisions, and I knew what was best for my success and what was best for the success of my clients and my team. But instead, I kept going back to my old habits of asking my boss what to do because I had been trained, for lack of a better word, to do it. Then, when I started finally flexing my autonomous muscle, and when I would try not asking, I would get retaliated against. I would get scolded in front of my peers and even the team members who reported to me. It was so embarrassing. I would get severe attitude from my boss, so I would back down, defeated, because I didn't have the energy to sustain that every single day. So one thing led to another and another and another, and I finally quit. I shared on this first episode of this podcast a little bit about that journey, but I didn't even have the confidence to speak up to quit myself at that phase in my life. And I was so stressed out that I ended up having to go on medical leave. It was that space and that time that allowed me to realize that I knew what was best for me, that I couldn't work under that kind of hostility and in that environment, so I finally left. But it took me going on medical leave to actually be able to have the confidence to stand up for myself and to trust myself. And I see this all the time with my clients. Women who have spent years with their external worlds telling them they're wrong, whether they had a boss like I did telling them they're wrong all the time, or whether it was their parents and the things that were said to them during their upbringing, or society in general just making them feel like they're not capable of making their own decisions. So many women struggle to make decisions without asking everyone around them first. They feel paralyzed by what ifs and worst case scenarios, and they second guess themselves into inaction, waiting for the right time or enough proof before making a move. But the bottom line is, no one knows what's best for you except for you. Self-trust is a muscle, and the more you use it, the stronger it gets. You do not need permission. You do not need validation. You need to start listening to yourself. So how do you do that? Self-doubt is sneaky. It doesn't always show up as I don't trust myself. It disguises itself as overthinking everything. You're going back and forth on decisions, needing to think about it forever and ever. Seeking validation from others. Have you ever asked your friends or people you know for advice instead of trusting your gut? People pleasing. Choosing what's best for everyone else in your life and ignoring what's best for you. Procrastination and perfectionism. Waiting until everything is perfect before taking action, or prioritizing everything else on your to-do list before that one thing. And feeling stuck. Avoiding decisions altogether because you're afraid of making the wrong one, so you're just stuck. Did any of these resonate with you? Did you feel a little called out when I mentioned any of those? Yeah, I know you. Because I was you. In fact, every single one of those were ways that self-doubt showed up for me. And I'd say the biggest way it showed up for me was in achievement seeking for external validation. So instead of trusting myself and my worth, I looked to accomplishments, recognition, or validations from others to prove that I was good enough or that I was on the right path. I was constantly chasing the next goal, the next milestone or promotion, because I felt like I would finally be worth enough once I achieved it. I overworked myself and constantly over-delivered in hopes of being praised or recognized. I was super anxious all the time, and when I didn't get immediate feedback or that external approval, my anxiety was off the chain. I constantly sought permission and reassurance before making decisions instead of trusting my own instincts. And through deep, deep inner work, I realized that if I was always looking outside of myself for validation, I would never feel secure. No achievement would ever feel enough if I don't already believe in myself. And I would stay on this hamster wheel of I'll be happy when, instead of feeling happy and confident now. A big part of self-trust is learning to validate yourself internally, knowing that you are enough, your decisions are valid, and your worth isn't tied to what you achieve. I want you to know, it's not that you're bad at making decisions. You've just spent years doubting yourself instead of practicing self-trust. So let's start rebuilding that trust. So how do you do it? Well, one, you start listening to your inner voice. Your intuition is always speaking to you. You've just been taught to ignore it. So start small and pay attention to the little nudges. One thing that helped me when I was working for someone was I would start writing down the decisions that I wanted to make, the direction that I would have chosen, and if the decisions or the outcomes of those decisions went a different way because someone at a higher level than me chose a different path and it went wrong, it was validation to me that I still knew what was the right path all along. And that was really good practice for me to start to trust that I actually knew what was the right way. And it allowed me to build trust in making those decisions and standing behind those decisions. Also, notice how your body reacts to different choices. Truly, your body will tell you everything you need to know. If you're making a decision that's not the best decision for you, you'll know it. You'll feel tighter, constricted, heavier. For me, my shoulders get super tense and I get this pit in my stomach. And if you're making the right decision for you, you'll notice that you feel more open. You'll be able to breathe easier. We've just been trained to be in our minds and out of our bodies. So drop into your body and start to listen to it because it knows everything and it's sending you signals all the time. And if something feels heavy or forced or you're just feeling drained, it's probably not aligned. So practice with this. The next time you're making a decision, ask yourself first. Before you ask anyone else, ask yourself first. See if you get a little nudge and pay attention to how your body feels. Number 2, keep promises to yourself. One of the fastest ways to build self-trust is to follow through on what you say you're going to do. If you can't keep promises to yourself, you're telling yourself that you are not trustworthy. I mean, think about it. Would you trust a friend who didn't keep their word? If you say you're going to wake up early, do it. If you commit to working on your business today, do it. If you promise yourself you'll take a break, honor it. Every time you follow through, you send yourself the message, I can trust myself. This was by far the number one thing that unlocked the ability for me to 100% lean into trusting myself. Number 3, stop looking for the right answer. Trusting yourself doesn't mean you'll never make mistakes. It means knowing you'll figure it out no matter what. There is no such thing as a perfect decision. The only way to get clarity is by taking action. Even if you make a wrong choice, you can always pivot. And every choice brings you to where you are today. So there really truly isn't ever a wrong choice as long as you're doing the best that you can. And practice this by making a decision today without overthinking it. Just trust that you'll handle whatever happens next. And number 4, strengthen your relationship with yourself. The more you know yourself, the easier it is to trust yourself. If you like to journal, journal about what you truly want, not what you think you should want or what other people say they want. I, like so many other women, was on autopilot for my entire life. I just did what everyone told me to do without even questioning it. It morphed into this weird reality that I actually didn't even know what I wanted because I didn't even know myself. So, really, truly take the time to know you. Literally, take yourself on a date, meditate, or sit in silence and see what comes up. And if you're not a meditation, sit in silence kind of girly, then go on a walk without headphones or go on a run. Take a shower, take a bath. Honestly, a lot of my best thoughts come up when I'm moving or when I'm in the water. Spend time doing things that light you up and reconnect you with you. It could be gardening, playing a sport, working out, dancing, coloring, doing puzzles, reading, literally anything that lights you up. When you have a deep connection with yourself, you stop outsourcing your decisions to everyone else. So every time you trust yourself, it gets easier. Self-trust is a muscle and you need to use it. You don't need permission, validation, or a perfect plan. You just need to take action. And even if you make a mistake, you'll figure it out. You always do. So for today's challenge, what's one decision you've been hesitating on? Make it today. No overthinking, no asking for 10 opinions. Just trust yourself and go for it. And I genuinely want to know, so DM me at the Light Within Collective and tell me what you did. And that's all for today, my loves. Remember, you don't need anyone else's permission. You are more capable than you think. Start listening to yourself because you already know what to do. And don't forget to download your Confident Mamapreneur Guide. You can find the link in the show notes, and let's do this together. I'm sending you so much love, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Light Her Up. I hope you're feeling inspired and ready to take steps towards a life better than you ever dreamed. I see you, I hear you, and I'm so proud of you for showing up and prioritizing your journey. When you fill up your cup with love, you can pour so much more into the people and passions that matter to you most. If this episode resonated with you, I'd be so grateful if you subscribed, left a review, and shared it with someone who could use a little extra light. For more, check out our weekly 5-minute meditations or connect with me on Instagram at the Light Within Collective. I'm sending you my love, and I'll catch you on the next episode.